Good morning, everyone. We're here at Project Chimps in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. It's a little overcast today from a hurricane that is coming through, but we're super excited. If I can ask Laura to give me a quick wave, say hi. Laura is our manager of chimpanzee care, and I'm excited she is here. We also have some special guests with us as we are going to see the Group 6, 10 female chimpanzees go outside for the first time. Looking across there at our DJ&T Villa number 2 here at Project Chimps, and across the way at our Cedar Tree Villa 1, where we have other chimpanzees. And here we are. I'm going to show you the mesh top of Chimps Ahoy Villa 3. And we have some of our chimpanzees here. I believe that is Jarita, but it would take a caregiver to know for sure. Anyway, there are 10 female chimpanzees. They don't know what's about to happen, but they are going to have the opportunity to go out in our 6-acre forest for the first time today, after many years in a laboratory environment and a month now here at Project Chimps in a protective quarantine that was temporary. We have 6 younger female chimpanzees that are about 8 to 10 years old, and we have 4 older female chimpanzees who are 28 and 29 years old. We have no idea which ones are going to go out first, but in just a moment we will see. So I'll show you what that looks like. We have some special guests with us today, and I just want to ask them to say hello. Hi. Hi there. We have Blake and Bryce and Mallory, and then Anthony. Say hello to everyone. This is Anthony, one of our caregivers who has been working day to day with this group of chimpanzees. And just to give you a little look-see, this is the mesh tunnel that connects this large group villa and to the outdoors. We have the protective fencing here. It is a low voltage fencing for the protective safety of the chimpanzees, because of course they can climb. If they were to touch that fence, it is a shock. It's unpleasant. It does not break the skin, and the person narrating this video has touched it, so I can tell you it's not fun, but they will not be injured. So this is the northern 3 acres of our peach tree habitat, made possible by one of our supporters, Marsha Perlman. And then I'm looking across, and across that secondary fence is the second 3 acres. And then to my right from the roof here on Chimps Ahoy Villa is our Villa number 4. And you'll see some of our staff and volunteers very excited to see what happens next.
What do you think, Mallory?
So any moment we're going to go ahead and press the button and see and watch for the chimps to come out into the tunnel, which connects to the outdoors and to this brand new platform that was built by our care staff, our facilities staff, and a group of volunteers. So we're going to listen for the sound of that, of the opening doors.
Can you guys see okay?
And we'll see what happens. There goes the first door. Lots of excitement.
They're a little nervous, because that door is never opened before.
That door is never opened, and so they're going to be seeing that for the first time. I'm looking to see. They're all, looks like, clustering out in that direction. And now you can see it. There goes the second door to the outdoors. Chimpanzees over in Cedar Tree Villa are very, very excited. They know that something unusual is happening, and they're letting us know. So here we go.
So the first one out is... Oh, sorry, guys.
Sorry? Oh my
That's
gosh.
Precious.
Precious is the first one. That is Precious. She's the first one outdoors. And now, you see the hair standing on end? That's called piloerect. They're very excited, very nervous.
And then Jamie and Jarita. So the older females are kind of taking the lead on this one. Tiffany was in the doorway. She was a little unsure. She came back.
All right, so the older females are the first ones out, a little more confident.
Crystal is out.
And then young Crystal is out.
And then she gives Jarita an embrace.
There's a reassuring hug. How exciting. Anthony, what kind of food did we put out for them today?
There's some fresh fruit. I think they're apples and oranges, and then a lot of like mixed nuts, sunflower seeds, peanuts. Try to make entice them to go outside if they want to.
That's great.
Yeah. So Tristan's out.
This one's very confident.
Yeah. Who's that who just grabbed a handful of food?
Yeah.
Can't see.
Is that Jarita?
That's Jamie who just grabbed a handful
Jamie's
of
on the
fruit.
left.
And then Jarita's
No.
on the left.
Jarita's on the left. Jamie is now near the door with a cluster of food. And who's on the platform, Anthony? Is that
That's Tristan
that's
in the far
Tristan.
back.
Out on the platform is Tristan.
Down closer, that's Crystal who just stepped onto the dirt.
Great. Crystal's on the dirt, and got a few that are still looking outside.
Yeah, Jill is outside now as well.
I love the reassuring embraces that we're seeing.
Yeah. Jarita's really good about supporting the younger girls when they're nervous about something.
And Jarita is one of the highest ranking chimpanzees in this group. So in her role, she is reassuring those younger chimps. This platform did not exist just a few days ago. We were very lucky to have some volunteers.
Hugging each other.
I know.
So cute.
Isn't it great? We were very excited to have some special guests with us today that can see this firsthand. And now, that is
It's Jarita.
Jarita. She's now gone the farthest away in the direction of Villa 4.
Just kind of making faces at the males.
So what Jarita can see is on the right side of Chimps Ahoy, over here where we've got some of the food on the roof, is Marlin's group of 6 males. So imagine living in a duplex right next door. These 10 females come to the sanctuary, and there are 6 males living right next door. In the lab, they were separated by sex, and so the females and the males lived separately. So one of our major projects and initiatives here at Project Chimps is a process of socializing males and females. And so this is going to be the next group. Right now, over across the way at Cedar Tree Villa, we have Latricia's group of females and Beau's group of males meeting one another in a very structured environment led by our manager of chimpanzee socialization, Mike Sherish.
The whole group does that, so everybody in the group knows there's food.
And so this group is going to be next. Over the next couple months, we'll see a process of introducing Jarita and Jamie and Crystal, this whole group of 10 females, to Marlin's group of 6 males. And they are very curious about one another. So here, out there, they can actually look in and see the males observing them from their open air porch. And you get a little better feel of what that looks like when you look across over to Villa 4, which from here almost looks like it's a solid building, but it's not. It's all open air mesh, so that they always have access to open air outdoors in a large group structure.
So you can see another touch. And then you hear them panting.
For those of you who love our beautiful photos, that is our caregiver photographer, Crystal Alba, in the teal shirt down in the corner, taking some pictures, some vocalizing. Anthony, would you consider those alarm calls or just
No, that's excitement. That's mostly excitement about the enriching food that has been put out there by the caregivers. So all the walnuts, sunflower seeds, peanuts, fruit. So Haley is now outside. So I think Torian is the only one who hasn't made the decision to go outside yet.
So that's pretty exciting. 9 of the 10 chimpanzees have come out here in just the first moments of their first opportunity to be in the Project Chimps outdoor habitat. So Torian is the only chimpanzee that has not yet, and that is the beauty of life here at Project Chimps, is the chimps have a choice. where in the past they did not have a choice about where they went, who they became friends with, what they ate, and we try to give them as many choices, as much free will as possible.
So Jarita's going around that right tunnel.
Teresa, so this one, it's kind of a narrow walkway around here. Around the brambles, we have wild blackberry bushes that grow, and one of the things and reasons why the caregivers put food out into the habitat is to encourage that natural foraging behavior that chimpanzees have in the wild. And so we have wild blackberry bushes right here, which are not ripe any longer, but the chimps who were out in this habitat previously picked those clean. We're also starting to see more of the chimpanzees climb trees, which is also very unfamiliar to them. And we believe in the last few days, Noelle, who is a resident over in Villa 4, actually climbed up a tree. We've seen that 3 or 4 times now since the first chimps went outdoors here at Project Chimps in January of 2018.
Very far until all the food is gone here, and they start to look for more food farther away.
Is there other food that we can set out?
A little bit, yeah.
Crystal's now
Most of
joined
it's
by
around.
supervisor and caregiver Brooke, who has also been the managing supervisor of the chimpanzees. Here in the very beginning, you saw a wave from Laura, our chimpanzee manager, and she oversees all of chimpanzee care here at Project Chimps. Well, let's go over and see. We've got some migration here.
So Tiffany is one of the younger females. She's 11 years old, but she is bold, and she is feisty.
Anthony was just sharing that this is Tiffany, and that she's pretty bold. So here she's kind of ventured out the farthest so far, although Jarita's gone in the other direction. So she has the opportunity to come down, to walk around. There's a viewing window. Project Chimps was originally a gorilla sanctuary, and so this concrete wall is the vestige of that original gorilla sanctuary. Only 3 or 4 gorillas ever lived here before it was closed, and then Project Chimps had the opportunity to purchase the 236-acre property. So this is the first of 4 habitats that we plan to build here at Project Chimps as soon as we can raise the funds to do it. And so the viewing windows were built in. That is basically a bulletproof glass. You see that we've put in that security fencing up top because chimps climb. We want to make sure that they stay within this habitat. And so far that system has worked absolutely beautifully. And we have some climbing structures straight ahead, also built by our staff and with volunteer support. So they can go out and swing on the fire hose ropes there behind the trees and lay in hammocks and climb on those benches. Come back around the other side and see. Can you see where Jarita went, Anthony?
I saw her come back, and then I didn't see where she went. And now Haley's
So that's Haley, one of our youngest. She's the youngest chimpanzee in this group and the youngest female chimpanzee now at Project Chimps. And so she's actually venturing out a little bit to get some of the food and snacks. Where do you see?
She's all the way behind the
tree.
Oh, great. So Jarita's still down there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they keep hugging each other. So Haley just came back, Jill gave her a little hug and a little pat.
So this is good. So things are calming down. It's a little quieter. They're getting a little more comfortable. We're very happy to have had cooperative weather today, despite Hurricane Michael.
That's Torian.
Can you see Torian now?
Straight down. Yeah.
So Torian is here closest to the building. She's the only one that hasn't gone out at this moment.
Yeah, so she's one of the younger females. She'll definitely go out eventually. She's a bold chimpanzee. She's usually pretty eager for food.
Torian is one of the 10-year-old chimps. And Anthony was just sharing that she's usually pretty eager about food and enrichment.
We never want to put all their food in one place. We try to spread it out.
This is pretty typical, you know, staying close to the villas where they can run back in if they need to, but coming out and foraging for some of the tasty fresh fruits and snacks. That is part of their diet here at Project Chimps. We try to give them as much fresh fruit and fresh vegetables as possible in their diet, along with nuts and seeds. And we are so grateful that those nuts and seeds and other enriching foods and enriching toys and games are donated by our supporters from our Amazon wish list. If you are watching one of these releases for the first time or don't know much about our sanctuary, please do visit us at projectchimps.org to find out more and to find out ways that you can support these amazing chimpanzees who have come from a life in a research facility and now will spend the rest of their lives here in the Blue Ridge Mountains at the Project Chimps Sanctuary. Today we have 49 chimpanzees who have come from the lab and now live here permanently. That is a full male chimpanzee display. If you heard that, that was Marlin's group, and that's pretty typical of a male. They can see out to see these females who have been their roommates or, you know, adjacent building mates, and so they want to let them know that they see them and that they want to make sure they know the females or they know the males are there.
We're here.
And we can also, you can stay connected to us by following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well. A little more excitement over from across the habitat from the chimps, both males and females, in the Cedar Tree Villa. That villa is made possible by Adrian and Billy Joe Armstrong, and we are grateful for their support.
And then on the other half, so this is a 6-acre habitat, we have it divided in 2. So on the other half, another group of chimpanzees will have that area.
So if they were actually like, they got really used to climbing and stuff, would they be able to actually climb up to the very top of that tree there? That big one? So would they hang out up there? Like,
we're just waiting for the
We're super excited to have Bryce Gheisar and Mallory James Mahoney and their families here today. They're both really talented actors, and they came out. They were introduced to us from our friend, an amazing actress and now producer, Judy Greer. And so we're super excited that they were able to come and be here for this moment. So now let's take a look and see what's happening here. Please. Thank you. And they're on the climbing structure. That's great.
That's Haley and Tristan.
So Haley and Tristan have ventured down and now climbing on the structure, and we've got some nuts that the care staff has scattered for them. And again, we scatter those items really to encourage them, to make them more comfortable going outdoors, and also to encourage that natural foraging behavior that we really want to develop and reinforce.
Sophia actually brought out a little clump of bedding with her and had it on her back. She's just put it down now. Yeah.
wait, did you just go out for the first time? Oh my gosh, that's what out. Yeah. Oh, she's going down.
Hey Brooke, do you have Torian?
So Torian went out, so now all of the chimps are out. You guys were right.
She's actually like...
So she's out down there?
She's right there.
Awesome, let's take a look.
I think she's looking at us, trying to figure out what's going on.
What do you guys think?
I think this is amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is so cool.
I mean, they told us that they would be able to go all the way out back there, and maybe one day they'd be able to climb all those trees.
Exactly, and that's going to be their choice when they want to. So we've seen one chimp, Hercules, who has a very well-known story. Actually, went all the way down into the lower acreage there of the habitat, and that was pretty exciting. He went down to really check it out because he's kind of alpha and high-ranking in his group, so he went out to check it out.
You go see all those playground.
Yep, he went all the way down. He went right down there where we can see the fire hose ropes, and our caregivers put like the fire hose ropes because those are familiar to them from inside the villas. They want to encourage them to see more familiar structures they could climb on, just in case they want to do that before a trip.
She's carrying her bedding with her.
Look at that. Which chimp is that?
That's Sophia.
So Sophia is carrying her bedding
And then
on
Crystal's
her back.
following her down.
And here comes Crystal. How
they're all
exciting.
gonna start following each other.
They are headed down to be with some of their other
Wow,
friends.
I just thought that he dropped that. I thought he just dropped that fruit, but he's actually holding onto it with his foot. I thought he dropped it, but he's carrying it with his foot.
Oh, that's great.
Jelly.
So they're gathering some of the food items. They're pretty excited about those. Foraging for those
An exciting thing at
different
the
pieces
window.
of food.
This is probably the first time they've touched grass. It's also the first time they've never not had something in their heads. No caging, no
Nearly every single one of them is over here now.
you'll
That's
notice
right.
they
So
kind of
almost
look
all of them have come around here. They're on their way down
because that's probably weird to them.
toward Villa 2, and
Yeah, that's it.
that's
Once they
very,
get
very
used to
exciting.
that, they'll go out in the snow.
We don't know all the details of their background, and we can guess that this is probably the first time they've been outdoors, certainly in a forested environment. Probably the first time they've touched grass, although we don't know for sure. We don't know all of their individual stories. We have medical records, and so we make sure that we kind of start from day one here and trying to provide them the
One that went all the way back there.
best exemplary care. A little excitement. Let's come around and see if we can get another view.
Like sucking up to Jill, kind of letting Jill know.
Joseph, can I sneak in where you are? Thank you so much.
But in a way that
See if we can get a little different view. We will be taking this footage and combining it with some footage from some GoPro cameras that we hope are capturing some good footage out in the villas. Now, over there in the direction the chimps are going are the males that came to us in our last group that joined us here in March. That is Hercules and Leo and Oscar and Danner and that group. Those are young adolescent males. So we're starting to hear some banging and displaying, and they're probably pretty excited. Somebody's checking out the window down there. So we're going to hear some interaction from the chimpanzees, the male chimpanzees on their porch, and these younger female chimpanzees now coming to visit them. So that's pretty exciting. They're seeing one another really for the first time here at Project Chimps.
out there. What about in here? In here, we just get cleaned every day.
That's fantastic.
How do you guys plan it?
And who knows, we've seen some chimps that have actually wandered down into the lower habitat. Hercules did on his first day out and wandered that far. In general, we'd expect them to stay close together and to have a direct path back to their villa where they would perceive familiarity and safety.
Yeah, I'd say in a matter of time. Of course, something you might not work out.
If you ever read the news and you hear about an escape in the zoo, there are 2 ways that can happen.
So we have a chimpanzee there at the window looking out and curious. We get asked very frequently about human and chimpanzee interaction. Here at Project Chimps, we really try to limit that human and chimpanzee interaction as much as possible. Now, some of the chimpanzees are very human friendly, and some of them find it very, very enriching. They're very curious about people. Some of them particularly about children. Noelle is very, very interested in young children. And so we will, at that point, limit that engagement, but sometimes that does happen if we're having a special tour or one of our open house Discovery Days events where you can come to the sanctuary and see what we do here in person. And so, but in general, our goal is to let chimpanzees be chimpanzees and to simulate as much as possible the experience that they might have had in the wild. There is no sending them back to Africa. They did not come from Africa. These chimpanzees were all born and raised in captivity, as far as we know, in laboratory and research settings. Research ended in 2015 with the federal government changing its policy and recognizing that we should no longer be conducting research experiments and testing on our closest biological cousins. And so from that point then, we were able to set up a collaborative relationship with the New Iberia Research Center in southern Louisiana that had the largest population of researched chimpanzees, more than 220, and we are grateful for our collaboration with them because together we are identifying the chimps 10 at a time, 9 or 10 that can come to the sanctuary and make this their forever home. So it's been an awesome day. Sorry for that rough transition, but we lost some battery power in that live feed. But here we are up in now the south habitat of Project Chimps, and in just a moment we'll be releasing another group from one of the other villas down for their daily exercise down here in the south habitat. We had a little bit of rain, so we took a break for a second, but we wanted to thank everybody for being part of this day with us. Thank you for your support. We could not do what we do here at Project Chimps if we didn't have that ongoing support. Again, if you haven't seen our website, visit us at projectchimps.org and watch for the video that will come out with hopefully some good camera footage of the chimpanzees' faces, as we saw that today Precious was the first of the 10 chimpanzees in Group 6 to go outside into our 6-acre peach tree habitat for the first time. Thank you, everyone.